this is another old PC, and I don't know if it works. You'll notice it's got the sort of style of a old Nokia phone on the front. This was kind of popular at one time. It's quite dirty, definitely needs cleaning, so I don't think it's going to work, to be honest, but let's find out what's inside and whether it works. It's pretty uneventful on the back. Power supply with a switch, built-in video, and then nothing here, so it's unlikely that we're going to find anything very exciting. In fact, it's surprising that it doesn't have a modem in here, because that was fairly common for this age PC. So let's open the side, let's see what's in here. Okay, so we've got an AMD processor, or at least an AMD heatsink that spins, and these capacitors look quite deady. Oh, there's a hard drive, there's an optical drive, and then we've got a WinPower ATX-500L. I think I've had experience with WinPower power supplies before, and often the fan on them has been bad, but don't know about this. And it is connected, it is 24 pin, there is a CPU header, so we can see the motherboard model here. Okay, so this should give you a better view of the system. It's a Gigabyte GAM61SME-S2, takes DDRII RAM, and we've got this connector here, which is ID, and then we've got two SATA here. We've got a floppy connection here, and these look very dirty, these capacitors here, but let me just see if I can clean them. Just give them a quick brush. They look like they're just covered in dust. I can't see any leaks, I can't see any bulging, but that doesn't mean they're okay. They could have leaked out the bottom potentially, but apart from this dust, it's kind of looking okay. There's a lot of caked on dust on the power supply, but before actually switching this on, I'm going to check the power supply with the power supply tester. So let's do that. I'm going to try and do it as efficiently and quickly as possible with minimal editing, because that makes it easier for me, and you know, sometimes it's good to see the little bit of the process as well, without cutting out too much. I'm going to connect a sacrificial drive so that we have some load on the power supply. Just need to find that. Okay, so I've got a hard drive that spins. I'm pretty sure it's very dead, having been abused in a number of times. It's super old, this drive. You can sort of see the size of all the chips and things. So we've got this connected, and we've got this switched off, so I'll connect a power cable, and I'll also move the camera so that you can see what's happening. So we've got the power supply tester, we've got the thing at the back measuring the watts, and I'm going to press the power button now. Okay, it's using quite a lot of power, 27 watts. We've got 12 volts, 5, 11.9, 3.3, and 5.0. This is these numbers are kind of quite good. So this wind power supply, ATX-500L, has two 12-volt rails, 12 amp and 15 amp, a plus 5 volt 28 amp, 3.3 18 amps, minus 12 volts, and plus 5V/SB. Says it's RoHS compliant. Let me see if I can see the date on this. When it was made, I'm not too sure on that one. But yeah, that works. So maybe we'll connect up to this system and see if this works. Okay, so I'll disconnect everything and we'll have a quick look at how much power it takes when it's on standby. So nothing's connected, switching it on, and we're getting 3.3 watts of draw, so 3 watts now. That means that it's not very good at just being on standby and doing nothing. More modern power supplies and 80 plus tend to draw less than this when they're not doing anything. But yeah, let's switch this off, connect these things back up, find some DDR2 memory. I was a bit reluctant. Processor. So DDR2, AMD, what are we guessing this will be? We've also got a drive, so we could see if there's a working operating system on this. Just going to put in some crucial DDR2 memory. And we may as well connect up the optical drive, see if anything's in there. And need to connect the keyboard and mouse and video output. Okay, so we've moved this around and we're at the stage where I can switch the power on at the back. And I haven't connected a cable for the hard drive. Let me do that. So just putting in an 80 conductor IDE cable for the drive. And then, so yeah, it's using 4.8 watts and it's not on. We haven't pressed the power button. So let's press the power button. It's beeped into life. It's an AMD Athlon 64 3200 plus. And it's got a Maxtor 40 gig hard drive maybe. So it's relatively quiet as well. The fan noise is reasonable. You can go into the BIOS and have a look at the health. So it doesn't tell us the voltages, it just says okay, so that's interesting. Dates from 2007. Oh, we've got some noise from one of the fans. I think, yep, that is the power supply fan, as I kind of predicted, which is kind of funny. It's kind of making a grinding noise. Let's see if we get anything booted in from the drive, and let's see if there's anything in here. Nope, nothing. F1 to continue, and we'll see if it boots. Windows XP. And I'll come back if we can get into Windows XP, but I don't want to reveal anyone else's information, so I'll come back in a bit. So we've booted into Windows XP. It's asking for a password for a user. I'm not going to bother trying to hack the password or the account or anything like that. I'm just going to, I guess, reformat the drive to wipe it of any data. But it's nice to see this just work. The noise from the heat fan in the power supply has calmed down a little bit. But yeah, I'll shut this down and we can have a little bit of more of a look at the components in the computer. I think Windows XP is like a great operating system for this age of PC. Athlon 3200, you know, with a gigabyte of memory, make a nice little PC. I don't know what the built-in graphics are going to be like, but it does have a PCI slot, and yeah, it's relatively clean in here. In terms of the board's quite clean. The capacitors all look okay once they had a brush. And yeah, the case does need a clean, but looks like a fairly good quality board that we've got here. This needs a clean as well. And I wonder if it clips off. Maybe we can have a quick look at the state of the dust under here. Let me find something. Does look pretty dusty under there. And let's have a quick look at the drive. Don't really want to break any of these plastic bits. But yeah, it looks like a budget system. Everything's built in, audio, video, USB, that kind of thing. And then the drive is a rather heavy 40 gig ATA 133 Maxtor Diamond Max Plus 8 from 2003. So that's interesting. Drive from 2003. The motherboard's got a date of 2007. It's got front audio connections, but only 2 SATA. Yeah, what do you think of this PC? Would you save this PC? Would you use it for something? What would you do with it? There's a group on Facebook in the UK, vintage computers for sale. I sometimes see some interesting things there, worth checking out if you're looking for older systems. I think for me personally, this system is from a time period that I wasn't massively involved in. I sort of went from Celeron's Celeron 300A that was overclocked, then up to sort of a Celeron 1 gigahertz, and then I think I went over to the Athlon XP series, and some others as well. But yeah, after sort of looking at various things, I didn't really bother with Pentium 4 systems, and as soon as the Intel Q6600 came out, that was me kind of sorted for a very long time, because it was such a good CPU, and I didn't need to upgrade for a long time, and I kind of skipped all the sort of AMD stuff like Athlon 3200 and the 64 and all the other sort of dual core and quad core and triple core stuff that they did. So this for me, that is dry. This sort of age or type of system doesn't really have any real interest for me. This is a socket AM2. So yeah, if you're in the UK and wanted this system, get in touch. That's the processor with some dry thermal paste on it. I mean, you could stick a graphics card in here, SATA drive, have a nice, decent performing system. But for me, it's working at the moment, but there's not really much in here that's I find that interesting. So yeah, just get rid of some of that and then put it back together, and yeah, I think this does need a clean. It should, if these clip things are bendable, then this should come off, but I don't think there's much flex left in these plastic things, so I don't want to break it. I'll just give that a wipe before putting it back in. And I may as well give it some thermal paste, otherwise someone will shout. Not shout, but you know. And also probably say I should clean it all off, but I'm just gonna put this to one side and see if anyone wants it really, and then move on to something else. This is possibly one of the least interesting PCs I've got at the moment, although yeah, there are others that I haven't yet videoed or put on YouTube. Whoops. I'm always trying to, there's a reason why I'm always doing things at an odd angle. I'm basically trying to make it as visible as possible on the camera. But obviously it's much easier to do this if I was to lie it down on its side, and yeah, I should have just done that, move the camera. Try and do things quickly and everything ends up taking twice as long and being twice as difficult. So I think we managed it. There we go. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment below on whether you'd save this PC or not. Alright, thanks, bye.